Hello and good morning. Today I am on the hunt looking for the 2001 filming locations of Jeepers Creepers. For anyone that has not seen the movie, it starts off with two teenage kids driving this road right here. They're going really super fast. They come up to an RV. The RV is going a little slower, so they get impatient. They actually swerve around it so that way they could go even faster. But they drive just a little bit further and they notice this big truck coming towards them. Now they're panicking a little because they're going about 80-90 miles an hour, so they're going pretty fast. This truck gets right up behind them, starting to honk and trying to get them to get out of the way. They start swerving, but the truck just stays with them each and every time that they swerve to the left, to the right, just depending on whatever direction. It ends up eventually running them off the road and keeps driving. After crashing and ending up in a field, they decided to compose their thoughts and try to calm down because they were freaking out, especially when this person was driving so recklessly behind them. Now, after a while, they decided to get back in the car and start heading down the road. The two teenagers would have went around that corner, come up that little embankment, and headed this way. After driving just for a little bit longer, they came up to this location. This is the former location where the church used to be, 110th Avenue in Ocala, Florida. The church would have been located right there in the middle of all of those trees. Now it did burn down, sadly, over time, but I can't get any closer because now it is a private residence. As they were getting closer to the church, they saw the truck parked behind and someone in the back unloading something. They weren't sure exactly what it was, but it was big and it was wrapped in a white blanket. After driving a little bit closer, they saw there was a body being dumped in a tube. They would have continued down the road just a little bit further, trying to convince each other not to go and go check it out just to make sure that everybody was safe because it looked really mysterious. So they ended up deciding to go back. As they were headed back to this location, they saw the truck passing them. So they knew it was a little safer, but they weren't sure how long it was going to be safe for. When they pulled into the church, they got to the side of the church and noticed that there was a lot of crows. And it kind of creeped them out just a little bit, but they started approaching the tube. They started discovering that it smelled really rancid. They decided to get a little closer and start calling out into the tube to see if anybody needed any help. Hello, hello, are you there? He thought he heard something down the tube, so he decided to have his sister hold his feet. So he crawled in, trying to get a better look, called out, hello, hello, anybody there? He heard something, but didn't know exactly what it was. Then he figured it out. It was a rat. Then he started freaking out. So his sister started freaking out. That's when she dropped him and he slid all the way down the tube into this mysterious cave. After falling into the cave, he was stunned for a little while. So he got up, started looking around. He saw the blanket that had the body inside of it. He started ripping it apart. That's when he discovered that the person was still alive. After trying to help the person inside the blanket, he discovered that the person was beyond savable because he ended up dying. So he tried to find a way out. He looked around and noticed all of the bodies. He discovered that he was in the basement of the church because he did find a door on the way out. But on the way out, he discovered a whole bunch of people that have been missing for quite some time. While in the basement, he told his sister to go wait by the road and try to wave down absolutely anybody for help. After a few moments, he came out of the basement because he did find a way. He ended up walking towards the car and scaring the daylights out of her. After scaring his sister, they got back in the car and decided to go for help at the closest gas station. Now, what's really funny about the gas station in the movie, it's 40 minutes away from where I currently was. It looks a lot different than how it did in the movie. There used to be gas pumps right next to this road. That's where they pulled up their car, parked it right next to those pumps, and started walking inside of the diner. They walked inside the diner yelling, "Help, help! We need someone to help us, please." Everybody looked around, looked at these two teenagers, almost like there was something wrong with them or they just were a little mental. They started yelling, "Call the police, call the police." After a while, they did call the police, but not before they got a mysterious phone call. On that mysterious phone call, they got a psychic woman. She started quoting some of the things that they experienced, the truck and going to the church and seeing some things that they didn't think anybody else saw. So they started asking the mysterious figure or woman on the phone, "Who are you? Who are you?" And the woman kept quoting different things that they might have experienced. And she said, if you hear the song, Jeepers Creepers, just run. Run as fast as you can. After that, that's when the police showed up and started questioning them, not believing exactly what was going on and almost thinking that something was off about these two teenage kids. But the waitress came on over and started saying, is that your car next to the pumps? And they said yes. She said, there's someone taking clothes out of your car and doing some weird things. They all ran outside, but the mysterious figure or person was completely gone. There was a lot of clothes scattered from the front of the door all the way to the car. And she said it looked like someone was smelling your clothes, and whoever it was enjoying it. And that's when the police officers started taking it more serious. They said, all right, we're gonna follow you back to the church because we need to go investigate this. They started radioing people to say, hey, head out to the church, go check it out. But as they were driving there, following the two teenagers in their car, they got a radio call saying that the church was on fire. They started thinking that these two teenagers might have set the church on fire on purpose. But then the song came on. Jeepers Creepers. And then everything turned upside down. The two police officers heard a thud on the top of the roof. They were like, what the heck was that? Thinking that they might have ran over something or hit something. They looked around, didn't see anything, but they heard something pounding on top. That's when the female police officer got out of the window while they were driving, looked on top, and sadly, she didn't make it. After she was killed, the male police officer that was driving the vehicle started shooting above him, trying to get whatever the heck it was. He wasn't even sure what it was at that point. Sadly, the creature reached in, grabbed his head, pulled him out, and chopped off his head. The police officer's car comes to a screeching halt right on the road. The two teenagers freak out, stop their car, start walking towards the police officer's cars and go, are you okay? Are you okay? No response. When they got around the corner, they saw the head of one of the police officers. That's when they noticed the mysterious creature. When they saw the creature, that's when they decided, all right, we need to get to the local police department as quickly as we can. Sadly, the school that was abandoned during the movie that they converted into the prison is no longer here. It looks like it's been demolished for quite a long time. Right here in the town of Riddick, right next to the school that you can see off in the distance, this is the lot where the prison would have been. When they were inside, just comprehending everything that took place, that's when they met the mysterious voice. She came in and said, you are in grave danger, you need to get out of here. They were unsure exactly who this lady was, but they recognized her voice. The police officers kept saying, you need to get out of here, you need to get out of here. But she wasn't listening. That's when the power went out. The police officers started walking around, checking everything to make sure everybody was safe. They went to the holding cells where they had a few prisoners and discovered one was getting eaten alive. He started shooting at the creature, but the creature wasn't fazed whatsoever, charged at him and killed the police officer. That's when they radioed for help, saying, hey, someone's coming downstairs. The creature, we don't know what it is. We're shooting at it, nothing's happening. They're waiting at the stairs. One police officer decides to go closer to the stairs. That's when he gets snatched up and eaten. The police officers started approaching the stairs with their guns drawn, looking up, looking down. Couldn't find the creature whatsoever. As all of this was happening, the psychic was trying to get the two teenagers out of the building. She ended up leading them to doors that were locked, so it didn't work out in their favor. Now, I'm not going to spoil the end of the movie, so if you are interested in learning what happens to those two teenage kids and the psychic and some of the police officers, make sure you check it out. You can purchase it on Amazon, Target, Walmart. Some of your stores might even carry it. But it is a really, really good spooky movie. Now, sadly, that brings us to the end of our journey. Thank you so much for coming along with me and checking out these locations. Some of them, of course, have been torn down or burned down, depending on which location you're headed to. Some of them you can still come see and just see the remnants. But if you liked this type of video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification button so you get notified every time I come out with a future video. Now, I'm gonna head on down the road and hopefully not hear that song. But I hope you have a great day, week, and year.